Well, welcome everyone. Thanks for dropping in to Opening Up in Lockdown. We've just had Homeless Persons Week, and this Sunday is Community Services Sunday. So we thought we'd take this opportunity to have a chat to some of our everyday heroes who work to support the homeless and vulnerable in our community. So I have Rosetta, Norman, John and Mary here with me today, and they represent a larger team of volunteers who work in this space, and we're so grateful to all of you. So starting with you, Norman, you're our Community Engagement Coordinator. What can you tell us about the shape of the ministry that's happening at the moment and what it's been like for you personally?
Well, it's been a very challenging shape, I have to say, because we're doing as much off-site as we possibly can, but there's obviously things we have to do on-site, very important. So from my point of view, being away from the Camberwell Salvos site has been very challenging, and I've snuck back from time to time to see how things are going.
It's been good to see you.
But the shape of it in a way is that the meals program has been totally takeaway, and you'll hear a bit more about that from Rosetta. So no one's coming into the building, and the emergency relief and other services like money care, financial counselling has been done over the phone, but then there have been people at the hall packing hampers, and then people come to the door and pick up their hampers and go. Or we have some generous volunteers who do home delivery and that sort of thing. So that's been quite a challenge to work out and coordinate and make sure that we're all in sync and keep things rolling along. But the actual service to the clients and people who come for help seems to have been, pretty much the same in lots of ways.
You've done such a great job to keep everything going remotely. We're all beginners and learners in this space. And have you learned anything particularly over this period?
Well, I think it's been fantastic to see how people have stepped up to the mark, and the spirit of how people have engaged, the volunteers and staff, as well as the spirit of the clients who come and the participants who have just been very positive about what's been going on. And I think it's been really heartful, full of love, because people have been saying, look, everybody else is closing down, but you're still going. And I think that's been a really positive thing that everybody's felt good about.
Yeah, we've picked up on that as well on Sundays with people coming for the meals, that they've really appreciated the service that's been given. So Rosetta, you head up the team who prepare the meals that we've been handing out. How have things changed in that space?
Well, we've doubled the number of meals that we used to prepare because we're leaving meals to be distributed on Sunday. The volunteers have had to learn to work in a very different way, to social distance, to not be in the same space, and to prepare the meals that can actually go out in takeaway containers as well. So, and to do it quicker. Because, we used to serve a meal at 12 o'clock and then they'd have soup and they'd sit down and it would take about an hour. Well, now everything has to be ready at 12 o'clock. Sometimes at 11 o'clock, the kitchen is in chaos and then magically it just all comes together. We actually want the meal to look good in these takeaway containers too, because not only must it taste good, it's got to be appealing for people. So I think everybody's really stepped up to that.
Yeah. What's brought you joy, Rosetta?
The joy. Coming in on a Friday, having a look in the cool room and seeing what's been donated, and then my team comes in and we transform all of this into a beautiful meal. Like we have a very hearty soup. We have pork or chicken, and then we have roast vegetables. We've started making cakes now and giving someone a little bit of a dessert to go away with. And for me, there is just nothing better than just offering beautiful food to people.
Yeah, and it's been good for me too, because I'm working on the team on Sunday who are handing out the meals, and that feedback that you get and the appreciation. I've had cards from people and just little notes and things. Yeah, it's been a really lovely space.
Somebody who, we have a couple who keep giving us Powerball tickets, and I said to the, we're very lucky that we're not winning 8 million, because even if we still have to come back in the kitchen because there's nowhere to travel or spend it. And I think the other thing that, and you haven't asked me this, but I have to say that I have just so admired the resilience and the flexibility of not only the volunteers, but all the people who come, and how patient they are. And they've developed a whole different social interaction and network, and they're cheerful and happy. Yeah. And from my perspective, some of the volunteers initially had to step down because family members' health was compromised and they didn't want to risk it. And my son and his wife just stepped up and said that they would come and help in the kitchen. And, you know, that's the generosity of everybody, isn't it? And it's such a beautiful atmosphere in there. And you're right, Norm, it is. It's just, there's a lot of love.
All right, so John, tell us what you've been doing to support this ministry, and perhaps some of the groups that you've been working with in the community.
I pick up food for our meals and emergency relief programs. The food's donated by Fair Share, Second Bite, Chicken Central and Nando's, and also IGA. It's a very fulfilling role, and there's plenty of us involved with that pickup service.
Is there something that's brought you joy, or something that you've learned during this time, something new perhaps?
Yes, I've loved chatting without exception with the people in the places I collect from. Without any doubt, they have a real passion for community welfare programs like ours. And of course, they're very pleased to be associated with the Salvation Army in their donations.
Yeah. And I haven't seen very many people during this time, but your face is one that I have seen quite a bit as you've come in to drop off the goods, John, and it's been good for me to just stand briefly and have a chat with you as well. So thank you for what you've done as well. So Mary, you usually come in on a Monday to do interviews for welfare. You're not coming in at the moment, but the work is still going on. Can you tell us how that's happening and some of the challenges around that?
Well, we're doing things a little bit differently, obviously, because of the pandemic. We are doing phone interviews from home, and which is working okay. We're doing the best we can, but it is a little bit harder to sort of ascertain what the clients need when you're not seeing them face to face, but we're doing the best we can under the circumstances. And once we ascertain what they need, we then email Camberwell, and the staff in there then have to, as Norm said, they have to pack the goods. The clients will then come and pick it up. There are people that can't get there, so we have got a team doing home delivery. And I'm imagining with this maybe stage 4, that may even be more requirement for people to have home delivery. So that's how it's working at the moment.
And have you learned anything new, or is there something that's brought you joy, Mary?
I think there continues to be a lot of vulnerable people, obviously, in our community. And I've learned this doesn't stop because of COVID, and it's probably worse because of COVID, and people are probably coming to us for the first time. And that's hard for the clients as well, having to ask for help. And I just think we have to be faithful in this small thing we're doing. Sometimes it seems small, but it's a really big thing to the clients, and they're usually very appreciative, very grateful, and just makes the job worthwhile. And that's what you're making, a little bit of difference in somebody's life. You know, it might just be enough food to last till payday or whatever their needs, but we're making that little bit of difference in people's lives.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you to all of you for sharing today. It's been great to get your insight. You've given us some ideas of the breadth and complexity of the work that's being done, and also the need that you were speaking about, Mary, that exists in our community. You won't be surprised to know that there are people in our core who pray for you every week and the work that you do, and not just for you, but the other workers and volunteers in this space. And today I want to read to you from the letter that Paul wrote to the Colossians. in chapter 1. And I invite those who are watching at home to pray along with this reading for those who are supporting the homeless and vulnerable. Be assured that from the first day we heard of you, we haven't stopped praying for you, asking God to give you wise minds and spirits attuned to his will, and so acquire a thorough understanding of the ways in which God works. We pray that you'll live well for the Master, making him proud of you as you work hard in his orchard. As you learn more and more how God works, you will learn how to do your work. We pray that you'll have the strength to stick it out over the long haul. Not the grim strength of gritting your teeth, but the glorious strength that God gives. It is strength that endures the unendurable and spills over into joy, thanking the Father who makes us strong enough to take part in everything bright and beautiful that he has for us. So may God bless each of you, and we love you and we're grateful for everything that you're doing. And we'll see you when we see you.